Can you talk to me about what's coming up tomorrow, what the event is at ABIA?
Well, it really is just to review the expansion there, an airport that is very much undersized for our needs. You know, I was on the first plane that went from the old Mueller Airport to the new airport. It circled around the city a couple of times and landed for the inaugural arrival. And that airport looked so big at that time, but now it seems so small when I'm in it often twice a week. We planned for 15 million passengers, and we already have had peaks of around 22 million passengers out there, and we could see it going to 30 million, and we can't handle that kind of traffic without a significant expansion in the airport.
Yeah, can you give me just a little bit of an overview of what that expansion looks like?
Short term, there's construction all around the airport at different ends. The idea is to provide a few more gates to compensate for some of the gates that will be taken out in construction, additional baggage movement, improving the international arrivals area, expanding the entire terminal, the front of the terminal, by moving one of the parking garages, eliminating one of the near-term parking and building further out. Long-term, though, the key is going to be having another concourse, a whole another terminal connected by a tunnel to the current one out near the control tower. And that will give us capacity to handle 30 million people and even to expand beyond that to 40 million if that becomes necessary in the more distant future.
Yeah. So obviously, bigger airport. You guys, you just said it there. It could even hopefully handle up to 40 million people. As you continue to see that number grow, what impacts do you see of just more traffic in the airport?
Well, slower. When I come in sometimes at 10 o'clock at night, there's already a long line exiting that airport, and of course there always is when I'm going there early in the mornings for departure to Washington. So I think there'll be a number of improvements that will be needed in addition to that for physical traffic in and out. I wish we would see the completion of a rail system that would go all the way to the airport, so that would provide another alternative to get there. But this airport is really the gateway to the world for us, with people coming in from all around the world to what has become an international destination city. And we need to not have chaos when they arrive, and we need to be able to have business, pleasure travel going in and out of there in an orderly way. And that only happens with significant expansion.
Yeah, and we've noticed, over the last couple of years, as the airport's gotten more and more busy, more and more traffic in there, that air traffic control has also been
big issue.
Big issue. Can you talk about the impacts that this could have on that?
Yes, it's my biggest concern. I want certainly to have convenience, to have a smooth flow, but I want to be sure that people in and out of our airport are safe. And they haven't been safe when 6 near misses have occurred out there over a period of about 18 months. Air traffic controllers tell me that they're understaffed and they're certainly overworked. The FAA set the standard for our airport at 60 air traffic controllers. We have 29, and the FAA keeps trying to talk its way out of that by claiming it's 32, by counting some people that are not medically qualified to do all the tasks out there. Any way you look at it, we're at half to below half of what they say is necessary for a safe airport. The more traffic we have, the more controllers we will need. 60 probably won't be the level we have when we get a further concourse. But for right now, my goal is just to get them to provide the air traffic controllers they've admitted that we need.
Yeah. And then do you see that being a bigger issue then? Like you said, planning on getting a whole nother concourse, right. You're definitely going to need more staffing in that airport. I mean, how much bigger of an issue does that become then with having such limited air traffic control staff?
Unfortunately, there's an air traffic controller shortage all over the country. It's just that we happen to be one of the worst positions in that. And I'm hoping the accelerated pace of getting more air traffic controllers across the country will help us have an ample supply by the time we have that concourse in the 2030s. But in the short term, there's a real need. We see this also by the ground delays that have happened out there again and again. And for someone who's going to pick up a a passenger coming in or from somebody who's hoping to get home but gets held up in another airport, a major airport, waiting to come to Austin, it's inconvenience. But each one of those acts of inconvenience really is a reflection of the failure of the Federal Aviation Administration to do its job and get us the controllers that we need.
Yeah. Is there anything I didn't ask you? I guess I'll ask you this.
Yeah, sure.
Overall thoughts, just to kind of, in summary, how are you feeling about expansion of the airport? We talked about some of the issues, but overall, this seems like it's going to help really keep things flowing and in turn, help out with just managing the huge amount of people coming to the airport.
I think we're building an airport we can take pride in, that will be a great gateway to the world for a city that continues to grow at an astounding rate. And my goal is to get the federal funding to back up the city bond money to be sure that that construction proceeds at pace as scheduled, because the need is very much now, and the sooner we can get it built, the better.
And then real quick, do you have timelines for short-term and long-term?
Some of the short-term will be accomplished by next year, where things will open. The devastation or the destruction of the existing red garage will begin next year, and that won't be completed, I think, for another year or two. Most of the longer-term project is to take effect in the 2030s, early 2030s.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.